Hey, are you seriously podcasting alone?
Nah, I'm with my
dopest intro in the game.
Yes, sir.
We are the boys.
Fucking day. Hello, world. How are you? I am John, hanging out with Nick and another John. On the other end today, I have Priscilla, our moderator. Today, she's going to be telling us a story. We are the boys. Welcome to the Boys versus Everything.
Hola.
How we doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited.
I'm hyped
Priscilla
up for this.
is the host with the most.
Oh,
Host with the most.
Thank you.
She's the
Nick.
goat with the stories.
The ghost with the stories?
goat,
Oh, the ghost.
See, normally-
I appreciate that one.
Normally, when you're starting a podcast with only male hosts and this much testosterone in a room, you need something to balance the pH levels of that testosterone. So that is why we have the pH, like it's a pool, like it's a pool of genes. You need to moderate that. You cannot too much of that into your ears. It's gonna get gooey.
That's
Don't
why
want
we got
that.
Prissy's vibes
I
up in
am
here.
their acid.
So Priscilla normally makes sure that we do not ramble on about random shit and we
do
stay
that
on
too
track,
much.
because then you'd have 3-hour podcasts. So that's why,
About nothing.
That's fair. So I had a lot of ideas of what I wanted to start this podcast with. I was going around to, Tyra Banks. I had ideas for that. And then that was a crazy deep dive, which got me into reality shows. And I realized that for the first time in a long time, this is the year I've watched the most reality shows. And that got me thinking, because I wasn't just watching any type of reality shows. I was watching Netflix, which means there's a certain quality level that is not the greatest.
too hot to handle.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
Literally. Just that. So I was getting very into Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, stuff that is very much about, well, I would say love, but no. But just very the pretense of love, or
Netflix
like,
spinoff.
yes.
Aren't a lot of those shows now just, it's not even about love, it's like, will they fuck? Can they go on without
they-
fucking?
can
like,
we
is
film
that
them
not?
fucking?
How far? Yeah, exactly.
Will they be a monogamous relationship?
Yeah,
No.
How far
they
can
won't.
we
Not
take
at
this?
all.
that's what I wanted MILF Manor to be, and it wasn't that. It was actually just boring.
Oh, entirely. That's the big problem, is that it ends up boring. But there is one of them that didn't end up that boring, and it's the Squid Game challenge that I want to talk about today.
I watched the first episode.
I saw the.
I
saw
couldn't do it.
couldn't do it?
No.
I don't like when Americans remake things.
I saw the original, but then I didn't see the.
The original show, right?
Yeah, I saw the original show
There
because it
you
was super
go.
hyped up.
I wanted to talk about it because, so you guys have you all watched the original show?
No.
Not
You
all?
didn't watch it?
Perfect. I can give you
think
just
me
so
and
that
John
it's
have, but not
the original show, basically about people who are severely indebted or very poor, like very like unfortunate circumstances where they're like on the brink of either like, they have debtors coming at them or like running after them, or they just don't have enough money, so they're desperate.
Like
basically.
me. Yeah.
You got this main character. You have this main
Relatable.
character where his issue obviously comes with money, and he ends up meeting people that bring him into this kind of game where you have to go through like 6 children game, like very obviously children game where anybody can go. It doesn't take big brains to do.
But kind of like jigsawed,
Yeah, but simplified.
Exactly. Simplified and kind
somehow
of
more fair. And a lot more fair. So they do those 6 games, and each person that dies there, because if you lose, you die,
Okay.
money gets added to the bank, and only one winner towards the end gets like millions, or like enough to not only buy out your debts, but to make your life
Yeah.
amazing.
Gajillions.
Exactly. So, obviously it's not like a happy-go-lucky show. It can be depressing at times, but also like juxtaposed with like the children game, which are funny. That is being taken over by like the rich people basically laughing at the poor people, type of capitalism type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was very funny. It's Netflix that produced the show.
In the first episode, I don't know if you had the same vibe.
Go.
It's a lot of like the characters are a lot of just like like these middle class, not so smart individuals
in the reality show.
in the reality show. Yeah,
that's where I'm.
and I just couldn't handle it.
That's where I'm kind of coming
Okay.
from with this. That's where I'm trying to go with this. So the way I'm gonna structure this, the way I'm gonna explain to you guys is like I'm gonna go episode per episode, stuff that I've taken notes. I want to know not only what you guys think, what you guys would do in that situation if you guys were on that show, and also just there's some stuff they've changed from the show. I'd be interested in knowing what you guys even think about it or how you guys would tackle that type of challenge and everything. Don't forget these are like children games. So it's nothing super big brain, but sometimes I'm like this feels like a lot of luck.
Yeah, well, there's one
It's a bit
game. There was
luck
one game in the
based.
original show. I think it was like the last one where it kind of like took me a minute to like really grasp what the game
Wasn't the last game just beat the shit out of each other?
kind of, but you had to like there was like a line you couldn't cross or something. Like you had to stand. You had to like stand
it's
on
a
the line.
Japanese game, so to be fair, I had no idea either.
Yeah,
what
me
the
neither.
hell.
Like half of them I didn't know.
A
Beat the shit out of each other.
Korean game. So also wanted to talk about the multiple controversies that the show garnered, like accusation of rigging a lot of stuff or like, poor conditions and everything. And I wanted to know if you guys
Which one had the controversy? The game show, like
for the game show.
The game show.
For the game
Okay.
show
I didn't know that.
specifically for the So
Aren't like all game shows like rigged and also have poor conditions?
this is where I was this is where I wanted to kind of close
Except Wipeout.
No, that's true.
Wipeout is wholesome.
Wipeout is great.
You get what you deserve on Wipeout.
Wipeout, you get smacked the
Wipeout.
shit out of and you're fine. So I wanted to start. So in the show, you follow this man called Seong-gi Hun. Sorry, my pronunciation. I don't speak Korean. I'm very sorry. He's estranged from his daughter and his ex-wife, and he plays a game with this random man in a metro. It's called Dakshi, where it's like two little like paper stuff like filled with something a bit harder in it, so that you have to like smack it on the other one and make it flip, and that's how you kind of gain. Okay. So he he wins, and then the guy's like, hey, do you want to play a bigger game? Do you want to make more money? You want to kind of like, it's almost like a guy from Casino to be like, hey, you won. Don't you want to try again?
There's some more.
Yeah.
The next game is sucking his dick in an alley. You don't want the next game. All you get is heroin.
Exactly that.
If he takes you to the alley, you know he's taking.
That's exactly how the show goes. Guys, how do you know?
Game here is you gonna suck on this here pudding pop.
And people saw that show and were like, oh, the game show is going to be nothing like this. They talk about poor conditions, but I mean, what do you expect?
I'm gonna get onto that.
I feel like that's just staying true to your core.
Yeah.
Staying true to the original content.
I'm gonna get there because for me, the poor condition, it's more like I felt there was some lies on how it was portrayed, on what they actually did. So that's where I was like, I'd be still a bit pissed about that. But if I continue, he says, yeah, I love it. And he doesn't get much of information. He gets like a card where he can pick up and call to be like, yeah, I actually do want to be. He waits for a car to pick him up because that's what they told him. He gets in. They drug him in the car. They basically gas him in the car and they like blindfold him. And he wakes up in this, it was not in the dormitory, I think, but he wakes up with a bunch of other people dressed in like,
Epstein's Island.
like,
That's how he gets them. That's how he gets them.
he wakes up and like Stephen Hawking's there and it's just,
What the
Pull
fuck?
down your fucking pants.
Suck my
Russell Crowe
dick.
is staring at him and
Get over here.
I bet
Kevin Spacey's there, but he's as his House of Cards character. Now you boy, come on here
Come on,
and
boy.
suck this big old
come
cock.
on, boy.
I bet Stephen Hawking's likes getting his ears rubbed.
I didn't even go that far with it. I didn't need to know that.
he's like, no, please, gentler.
Oh, Stephen Hawking, rest in peace. I'm fucking with you. But so they find themselves, he finds himself with about 400 other people dressed the same as him, which is like, now it's, iconic imagery where it's like a vest, like Adidas, almost like track pants and like numbers. and they're only being referred as numbers. Some people give out their name like he does because he's much more of a trusting, a bit naive. You show him as a bit naive, trusting man. He's mid 30, well, I mean 40s most likely, early 40s.
It's pretty hot.
If you're gonna
He
kidnap
is,
someone,
but,
at least
you know,
make a uniform.
Yeah,
Good looking guy.
they look young.
Oh, wait,
That guy
his
looks
friend
young.
was hotter, actually.
Yes, but when he's dressed up, that actor is hot.
True that.
I'll show it to you. But
Nick is like, intriguing.
Tell me more. Good-looking Asian man.
yeah. They wake up there where it's kind of like there's like sand. It's like this huge hangar like almost, and they wake up. They're behind a line. They're standing up and they're like, hey, you're gonna play red light, green light, but if you like it, you better not move because there'll be consequences. They don't fully tell there'll just be consequences. So people are like, all right, fuck it, I'll do
so
it.
they don't even know like that this
Not-
is life or death.
Yeah, like that's how that starts. They
They
don't know.
They got Chris Kyle in the
Nick is
vents.
like getting the whole show revealed to him as we go. Oh yeah, I think spoiler alert. By the way,
spoiler,
if you
my
haven't
bad.
watched
If
Squid,
you
if you
haven't
weren't
watched-
fucking around or alive, if you were an embryo like 2 years
Under a
ago,
damn
yeah.
rock.
If you were saving it for a rainy day, this is not the episode for you.
If
Or
you
Nick,
didn't-
if you were Nick.
if you didn't find the time to torrent it, that's not my fault. But if you, so red light, green light starts. So like people run in. One of them, like they seem to have a bit of a friendship. They seem like they maybe know each other, or they just made friends really quickly there.
Yeah.
And one of them, right in front of him, like kind of moves a little, and he gets shot right in front of him, like falls down flat, and he's just like, wait, what? And so he moves and sees that he's actually dead. So he runs back. He gets shot.
Chaos ensues.
Exactly. So like a lot of people start running because they're like, holy fuck, is this real? They get shot. So like almost instantaneously, there's like
Then they find out
100.
there's freaking Navy SEALs in the vents, like
Basically,
just tearing at
so
'em.
people fucking boom.
Yeah.
Just die. So you
You
follow
move, you get
the-
sniped, pretty much.
you at least competition's gone.
Yeah.
So we start episode 1 in the Squid Game challenge.
That's the reality show, right?
Yes. Challenge, just for people at home, when I say the Squid Game challenge, that's the reality show.
Yeah.
When I just say Squid Game, it's the show, the original show and everything. Obviously, in reality shows, it's hard to script your stuff because it's a reality show. A lot of it can be put up by luck or like people who are good on it. And why I thought it was so funny Netflix did that is because Netflix sucks ass at even trying to swerve that shit. Like, do you guys even watch, so have you guys ever watched any?
No, because they suck.
Well, maybe not Netflix, but like others. There's some
What, like
others.
reality shows in general?
Yeah,
I've watched that.
yeah, like 90 Day Fiance, I'm guessing.
90 Day
It's so funny.
Fiance is fucking painful
But
to
I
watch.
feel like you want to try to get some interesting characters.
You do.
Some people with some
Mayonnaise
variety.
Ed. No neck Ed.
No neck
Yeah,
Ed.
that's the interesting character. They've made a franchise off of him. They're gonna make toys.
Nice. Really?
Jesus.
They could, like Star Wars. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
A little Ed on your desk.
There you go.
figurine.
You,
Yeah,
you got the guy
Exactly.
that you wanted.
Like,
You just
doing
can't
like
make a
samurai
bobblehead.
shit.
Can I
Bobblehead
kiss you?
is just this whole upper
It literally
torso.
everything just moves.
I want No Neck Ed doing like sword moves, like with his samurai shit. That's the best. Have you guys seen those? The videos on
You should
YouTube.
get a cameo.
The
Put him on a
no-neck
kimono.
Oh yeah, Samurai Jack, but it's no neck Jack.
Yeah,
No, actually.
it's fucking amazing.
That
Like,
would be gold.
showing all
would
his
love
moves.
that shit. I hope he goes like full like racist with that too. Anyways, to come back from this very weird shit that I just dropped. Sorry. Sorry.
racist.
Well, because no neck is weird.
I
Anyway.
hope it's racist.
Well, it's him. I feel like it's him. It's him and everything. I feel like it's him. I want him to be true to himself.
He's dated enough Asian women. He's practically Asian himself.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
all
right?
good.
That's what I mean. I think they'd be fine. For reality shows, what they do like to try to have is storylines, so that you still have somebody to root for. You got your villains, you got your underdogs. You know, like sometimes it's not always well done, but you do have like something to attach yourself to these characters, and especially for a show based off Squid Game, where that's some of the main things. Like everybody around him yet also has that play, but you are focusing on these four because out of these four, maybe something's hitting you in some ways. But in the challenge, it's like they can't find out who they want.
Yeah, like nobody has like main character energy off the bat.
Like, I'm gonna tell you guys names, and even I'm gonna have trouble sometimes because they show them so little that you're just like, what the fuck are you doing and everything.
Somebody have a name like Rorik.
No, actually, they have more normally. There's Roland, Trey.
Somebody like Apple.
I would have
It's a lot
loved
of-
that, honestly.
My thing is like they all seem like some regular ass people.
They
Like,
are.
If you were to meet these people in real life, you'd have like boring ass conversations like how's the weather? Like that's the vibe I get from them. All of them.
That's honestly that's what it is. But either way, you can also give us like, well, how fucked up would it be if you actually took people who were that poor and then you kind of make a spectacle out of it, which was the criticism of Squid Game, which is what I
Middle-class
find
America.
funny. But yeah, I'll go back. So the challenge, Squid Game, the challenge, the way it starts is with the red light, green light, and now this was where the bulk of the controversies started coming, because
Okay, so did these pussy ass people like watch the show and then got on there and you're like, and then they got shot with paintballs and then they're like, oh.
no, so it's not paintballs. It was like pressurized, like like in movies, like people get shot, but it's like
Blood squibs?
blood squibs, basically.
Those are like paintballs, no?
That's not the controversy.
Oh, okay.
So they when the way you see it, John literally was like,
judge the
"Those
shit out of
puss-
fucking pussies, these generations.
pussies."
I got shot in Nam. These guys can't get shot in a fucking game show.
So no, they were never shot. That would have been way too hard, like because they shot it the way in the show, and it would have been way. You imagine having
would
like the
miss
best
people.
sniper in the world to be like boom, and like without any face guards, those guys would get fucked.
Fucking headshot.
Also, it's like a crowd. You have to like get a guy in a crowd.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit some random people.
Yeah, sorry, but so it starts out that way, and you already see the storylines they're trying to put, and there's this mother and son duo.
Every time they do it in every movie, it always ends up weird. It's like just
But it's
so
a reality show.
in the
so
reality show.
It's a reality show. So in reality shows, it just seems like they're fucking each other.
What the
Is that what I didn't watch the show. I didn't watch the show.
the show, but
I'm just going off of based off of MILF Manor.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, my bad.
She's like, it's honestly they're very sweet, but you could tell like Netflix immediately loved them.
come on here, mama.
Netflix immediately loved them. So like they start out behind the line, and it's been said like, okay, so 5 minutes on the clock, like in the show, 5 minutes on the clock. You have the same thing. Production design is amazing. Like it looks exactly like the show. It's beautiful. You have the giant the giant girl also doing the turn and everything.
Yeah.
So they run. They run in, like you get some people being like, having their monologue. It's like, I'm here to win it. That like I've told my family I was gonna win it. Type of generic bullshit like that.
And then
I'm
the
here.
next
I'm not
scene-
taking any prisoners. I'm here. I got a mindset. I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah, like.
And then the next scene is them losing.
I brought my sister, but I'm
All
gonna
the time.
push her over if I have to.
I'll beat the shit
I
out
gotta
of her.
push her over, man. What's family over like $1 million? Can't do that, man. You gotta watch out for me, man. Bro Migo, number one Bro Migo. That's me right here, man.
There's one girl. She stops in the middle, in like almost like a squat
Yes.
position, and then it's her being like, "I'm not letting anything like stop me from my dreams."
She's like, I can't do it. Yeah,
yeah,
and then she
like
drops.
gives up.
But this is where I want to tell you the controversy
Boom.
of it. So
every
that happens.
reality
It's 5 minutes during that spot because like people are running, and then obviously when they stop, they really have to stop. So if you're in an awkward position like she was in a squat, or you're like, I don't know, your hand is like stretched out, or you're like mid walk, you have to stop, because what they do is that they use multiple cameras. And like they also had like a leg bracelet to sense as much movement as possible. So like you really had to stay still. Some people were lying down, some people were like sitting and everything. But what was weird when you were watching it, there's people that look completely still, but the packet would go off. The way you knew that you failed is that the packet
Yeah.
would like just blow up. And
They breathe. They like breathe heavy. And
but
then
this is where you were just like, okay, that's a bit weird, but okay. So
And some people be very shaky, and like
Yeah.
they would keep going.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And this is where you're like, okay, this is a bit inconsistent, but whatever. Maybe, there's so much that cameras can do. There's 456 people, by the way. I didn't tell you guys that. There's 456 people. So they continue. You get the mother and son duo being like, oh, I came here with my mom. And like you get the mom who's like, I came here with my son. And you're like, oh, okay. So cute.
Yeah, mom.
One of you's gonna have to get.
That would have been so interesting. Honestly, that would have been so
There's
much
only
more
one
interesting.
winner, man.
They're not even bad
Watch-
people, but I was like, oh my God, that would have
Watch
been
my
much more interesting.
behind, mom.
So like he makes it
It's
like
really
they're-
sexual. When it comes to families, what the fuck?
you guys have
Just
issues.
hold my rear, mom.
If it's on television, it's weird and liberal, and I don't want it.
It's so like there's a guy that makes it first, which like emboldens everybody else. The son ends up making it, but the mom is not there. And then it's like it's all swooping music being like, can she
Bambi.
do it and everything?
And he starts to cry.
Yes, he cries. He cries
Fucking
like crazy.
pussy.
Mom gets
I
headshotted.
knew with the amount of crying, I knew you guys were gonna. I knew especially you were gonna have a problem with it. But I don't know. It's like circumstances. So she ends up making it in this dramatic slow motion, and they make it. Everybody's weirdly red in the face, and you're just like, this was only 5 minutes. That's what they want to make you think. This was not a 5-minute run. This was several hours of them doing this. So the way they would do, because again, they needed to use cameras, producers were behind cameras to check in. You would run and then you'd stop. But you don't stop for like a couple seconds. You stop for like 30 minutes, maybe like 15
they have
to
to like
30
pan
minutes.
around to everybody.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out. Fuck that.
And that was people like it's been confirmed by everybody that this was like people who did marathons were like, this is almost like as hard or harder than a marathon because it was several hours. So the girl that was squatting, she was not squatting for a couple of seconds. She might have been squatting for 15 to 30 minutes.
So they did her dirty.
They did her entirely dirty because you watch it juxtaposed in the show. Like they do like a couple seconds and she's just like, oh, like I can't do it. It's too much. So you're just looking at her like, girl, you can do like a squat for 15 seconds. But no, it might have been 15 to 30.
Yeah, she might have been there for like 10 minutes. 15
Exactly.
minutes.
So it makes more sense looking at that. But it also, you see them run and they all have like their hands in their pocket. Their faces are like very flush. So you're just like, oh, I guess it's several hours. But it's because it was below freezing during that too. They were filming this in London, January. And I don't think they had much good insulation as well. So it was freezing. Production
That's
give them
fucked up.
yeah. So like
That's why they're shaking.
Imagine you
There
get
you
stuck in a
go.
push-up position
Fuck, I
and
feel
it's
like
freezing
so bad
balls.
for them right now.
this is why I wanted to leave it a little
guys, like we said a lot of funny stuff today, but like honestly,
They were a
like,
little cold.
They were a little cold. Man.
You know, it's like
They're a little tiny cool.
them and the
Nobody
cats
give them
underneath
the
your car.
Nah, dude, like I know I gotta treat Chad like number one, but like sometimes like a man's balls do be freezing, and you gotta put my hand on my balls. Gotta get them warm again.
Just running with like hands to your balls.
Cameras can never pan on me. I'd have my hand down my pants.
warming up.
Are you gonna ask us later what we would do in this situation, or can I just say it right now?
You guys can say it right now. 'Cause-
Okay,
but before I say that, I'm gonna ask you 2 scenarios. For scenarios, you guys come in thinking it's 5 minutes, but it turns out to be several hours. What's your strategy?
If it's only 5 minutes, first of all, it's red light, green light. So
You think it's 5 minutes,
Yeah,
but
if
it
you-
ends
if
up
you
being
think
the
it's 5
several hours.
minutes.
You know what? The people jumping flat on their stomachs on like the second and third round and stuff makes so much more sense.
There you go. Would you do that?
Yes.
that's what I would do. Yeah,
You would figure it out and be like, if I'm going to stand, I'm not going to stand here.
So, in the 5 minutes, does the stopping time count as 5 minutes?
So this is what do you mean? Oh, like
Like
whenever they stop.
like
It's every
when
time
they
it's
stop,
green
is the
light.
timer still going?
So no, the timer stops, I think, every
red
time.
light. Every
But
red light.
the thing is, what I've heard, again, another controversy, is that apparently sometimes they would add a bit of time.
That's
for
fuck
some
you.
storylines.
You suck.
The mother storyline.
Fuck you.
I've heard that
Fuck
done.
you.
I've heard that done because apparently they saw Trey immediately being liked by the producers, and the producers took him apart. Like, because normally when they finish the line, they get to go to the dormitories, and they took him apart. And he said it. He said like, "Oh, maybe you should stay so that you can see your mother go through." And it was like, okay. And people were corroborating. It's like they added more time and she hadn't passed yet. So I'm like, okay. So you're seeing that too. You're seeing that.
I don't like this.
While you're
So the producer just like, hey kid, like, look, good job. You're doing really good right now. By the way,
need you to fuck your mom.
I'm Tom. Right? Do you need anything? You want coffee or anything like that? Yeah. Okay. So like, we really like you. Okay. So like, we're gonna let you and your mom slide on this one, but just stop trying to fuck her. Okay. just don't talk
what
to
we
producers. We're Netflix. We're a family show. We don't want that. So just cut on we'll get you to
touch
like
her
episode 3 or
everywhere.
4. Okay. Get you there.
at least not while the cameras are looking at you. Please.
At nighttime, do whatever you want, but
When the night vision's on at night, you can do it.
But yeah, sorry. So several hours. You're saying that you would start now, like literally throwing yourself on the ground. So
yeah,
that move.
because I'm not gonna stand there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like for the first time I wouldn't know it's like that, but then as soon as I see like the first shot and I'm like, okay, now this is painful. Now I'm gonna start hitting the ground. But the problem is then you're close to being at the scenario where I was mentioning where you're stuck in a push-up position.
Oh.
Because you're getting up and then you're stuck red light, you're fucking in push-up position and you're like holding your weight up. And then you're there like 15 minutes waiting for them to pan to 400 people. Then you're like very close to that.
My strategy, I would not go down, but what I would do is I would not run. I would just quick step. Like I would just like speed walk
So there's some
and
people.
just kind of stop. And I can stop in a standing position.
They were running, like sidestep running a lot. Like some had their hands on powder and do it like doo-doo. Like sorry, big noise for you guys. Here you go. That's my voice acting career. But it was it was them like they would sidestep it and they were almost like gallop on the side so that when they would stop, they could stop in a much more they would stand up,
body forward.
where you would fall or like
Being weird.
Exactly.
Squat position to one leg or some shit.
so there you go. But
I would roll.
there was a girl that was crawling. It was just like, holy
crawling is
shit.
slow. So like rolling, you just roll and stop. I'm on the ground.
That is true.
I won Squid Game. I did it. I rolled.
Just roll like a caterpillar, you know? Just fucking
Picture me rolling.
To go back to what I was saying for the controversies, especially for the red light, green light, and then I'm gonna close. When you look at it, there were some people that were doing those same tactics, but they were getting shot. They were getting taken out. And it was to a point where as a viewer, you're looking at it and you're like, well, okay, so what is the criteria of people getting like taken out? Like, what is it? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And there's even a bigger problem where other contestants says, and they call it a very beautiful, dramatic name, the 38-second massacre. I know, it's so dramatic. I love it.
That sounds like me in bed. You catch my drill, dude.
Your drill.
I'm like a drill.
So they were saying where I'm guessing because they never mentioned exactly where the 38-second, for some reason in Variety and Rolling Stones, they didn't mention exactly the 38 seconds where that comes from. But what I'm guessing from is that 38 seconds, that there was probably 38 seconds on the clock for them to see for their supposed 5 minutes where people passed the line. And, they were just waiting, seeing like player this is, still in, blah, blah, blah. They all got eliminated. They like one after the other, pop, 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 like just like that. So without any real explanation, and apparently they were really mad, which I would be too. If
I heard there was some of them because I actually saw like an article about that before. Like I didn't even watch the show. I just watched that that squat thing that you were talking about,
Yeah.
and then somebody like put like a kind of like a link to an article where saying that they had like the squids, do you call them? That were like the squibs that were actually like malfunctioning.
Yep.
And it's like you didn't do anything. You just got fucking malfunctioned.
That's the thing, and they would take it as a kill. You're done and everything.
Yeah, it's already on camera.
But I also think that they needed, like, there's a limited amount of people they could house as well, right?
There you
So
go.
there's-
Oh no! Are
There
you
you go.
conspiracy?
And they have to like
Not even.
they have to
cracked the
make it
case.
even, don't they? Like
They have to,
for
because they
teams
have
and
to.
stuff.
Red light, green light, because of the show, it's there to like really cut out a big
Yeah.
chunk so that you keep dwindling next games. And in this one, they
A
don't
lot
have
of extras to pay.
exactly. So actually, well, they don't pay them. None of them are paid.
Nice.
None of them are paid. Sometimes you're paid like 1,000, even if it's reality.
So
it's
they got
under,
kidnapped
but they
for
were not paid.
free?
Basically, like they took a month off and they're not getting paid for it, and they're not getting paid from their jobs for it.
That can't be legal because all those people that are on set working for real,
No, on
they
site
get
work
good
yeah.
money.
Oh yeah, they do.
They make good money.
That's true. But
Like,
the ones they're exploiting and everything, no, they don't get money
it's-
at all.
You know what though? It's their fault for letting themselves be exploited.
Tough words from Nick.
The show gave you everything you needed to know. Why did you still come?
Living in
But the show, if you take out like what kills them, which is them literally shooting at them, you have children's games. You're not dying of children's games.
I wonder if they still had like the Asian man just show up randomly in your life and just be like, "Hey, I'll slap you if you miss this." But
Yeah, where do we get that?
I wish
It should
that-
be like
again, more interesting.
like when I don't know, when they apply to like American Idol and then somebody shows up at their house and they're like, oh, like they show the footage, like them being
But
all
that used
excited.
to be in the beginning, not
they
anymore.
yeah. And, like Gordon Ramsay, I think they would like record people getting letters. They should send a Korean man to these people's houses.
Any Korean man, not even the actors from
No.
it.
send exhibit.
Oh, that would be
pimp your-
fucking amazing.
Let me pimp your torture.
Are you here to pimp my ride? Nah, dog. I'm here to fucking torture you.
I'm here to bitch slap you for a kids game.
What if he shows up in like doing an Asian accent?
Oh, please. But like offensively bad. Like barely even trying.
Hey, dog. I heard you like ching chong, so I put torture in your ching chong.
How did it get devolved? Jesus Christ. You better cut
This
that
is
shit.
satire, by the way.
Nah, that's how we get away with it, guys. That's how we get
Satire
satire.
disclaimer.
Slap satire. But yes, to go back to what you were saying. But yes to the
Okay,
racism.
we're muting ourselves.
but yes to what you were saying is like when they go to the dorms and like in the show that there's like the dorms there's the exact amount of beds for everyone there.
Yeah.
So when you see the show and they already have the exact amount of beds, you're kind of like, well, so I'm guessing they had a number they wanted to keep. So a lot of it seems like they needed to like
Yeah.
flush out some numbers there. So this is where, the rigged aspect could be in some ways. So storylines, if we're going back to storylines, we got mother and son. They made it, thank God. And sexy mother and son made it.
That's all John wants.
John's favorite plot.
We got some guys with mullets, and when I say some guys with mullets, that's the extent of what we know.
And they all hang together.
They do. There's a He-Man. There's a guy that looks straight up like He-Man. I think my boyfriend called him Yeehaw He-Man because there was like a cowboy aspect to him too.
Yeah.
I'll show you. But so
And he lays down the pipe.
that's right. He lays out.
Are you sure that wasn't Zac Efron?
Oh, you know what? That was close. He wasn't as big though. Unfortunately. Sorry to He-Man. Sorry to He-Man. So we get him, and then we get our other guy that we get a storyline because he's playing the villain role. So he's very frat bro. Like I used to be in college football. Don't you love those? I used to be in college football. So like I'm peak physique. People are crying for nothing, which I kind of agreed on some parts. But and he was like, people are crying for nothing. This is a game. I'm not here to make friends. Type of deal. And everything. So he's the villain. He's called Brighton.
He's the one that
Yo,
starts
I
the
told you
letter.
it's gonna be a fucking name like Brighton.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's in London, so there's a lot of British people.
Oh shit! So I
It's
shouldn't have been
mixed.
doing this voice. Should be doing this voice, fam.
Exactly. Yeah, fam.
Blah blah.
Yeah, fam.
I'm not here to make friends, fam. I'm here to win.
There's
Sounds
some
like Toronto,
Irish.
fam.
There's some Irish people.
Is there like a gay Italian guy too?
Yeah,
He's
Lorenzo.
kind of a cunt.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So he goes in and they go into the now they're in the dormitories and people are talking to each other and you realize like they can't go to the next game so quickly because there's only 6 games. They have 10 fucking episodes. They did not need 10 episodes, but they have 10 episodes. So you're like, how are they stretching this out? Because you can't have them murder each other. By the way, some of them try to murder each other in the show because there's no real rules when you're in dormitories, so you can just fucking kill people. So you can't have that in a reality show, unfortunately. So what they do is they between each big challenge like that was on the show, they introduce little a mini game of elimination where you can eliminate a couple of people. Sometimes it's like 1, 2, 3, not too much. So
There's no voting eliminations here.
there is voting, and
Fuck that, man. I hate that.
But this is what was my problem, because the first mini game, it's not even a mini game. No. It's literally just like they have 2 people, they take out 2 players, they separate them fully, like it's like almost like they found their own little space, and then they have it over the PA as if this wasn't fucking scripted. They're like, player 107 and 137 have to play a little game. They play and they don't give you the results yet on who won, but one of them eliminates a guy that you don't know or care.
So 2 people eliminate the 2 people you don't know, play a game.
Yes.
Kill off another dude you don't know.
It's so little. You get a little bit tidbit of them, but even that, you're just like, oh, this mullet guy is country. He's from Kentucky. And he's like, people think I'm dumb because I got my accent and I like to play up in this. And you're like, okay.
People like to say that us country boys don't got no smarts up in here. But let me tell you something. We got a whole lot of something.
we got a lot of stuff. And then you have the girl being like, oh, people underestimate me because I'm little. And I'm like, okay.
No one cares.
Bitch, reach for that pickle jar.
That's the thing, is like, I can't even fully blame them because they're just being brought out whenever by the producers be like, what's your insecurity? So they're like, well, I guess I'm insecure about that. It's like, what does that have to do with the game? Fuck all, baby. But that's all we know of you. Now you're the short girl with insecurities. That's how we know you. I'm sorry.
Deadass, don't lie. You wouldn't be bothered to just go through like 300 people and just learn who they are so you can eliminate one. You'd just be like, just a number from 1 to 300. Like,
you need quick and easy identifiers.
Yes.
That's why they do that. So they need like tropes or something that like these people are gonna have. So like, that's the short one. That's the country guy. That's like this guy. That's evil British guy.
I wouldn't be against it, but they barely even follow the people they even present. So when they present somebody, you're just like, okay, so I guess they're coming back in a way, but they're either coming back to get eliminated, so you get no other confessionals. That was the only thing, and you're just like, oh man, country boy got eliminated. Fuck, what was his name again? Like you don't care.
It was Dillis.
Exactly.
Have you guys seen a Physical 100?
I gotta watch that.
Watch Physical 100.
Yeah,
we
I heard
won't talk
about
about
that.
it here, but like that's
I've heard of that. That's another one
next
I'm gonna try
episode
to
coming
get.
soon.
Next episode, yeah, that might be next
Asian.
episode.
They're Asian?
He likes Asians.
So, tidbit. He likes Asians. Fun fact. He likes Asians. So they do this. So they do this thing which has inconsequential. That guy also you see 2 seconds before he gets eliminated. He's like, I got a tactic. I'm number 200. I think like I'm feeling good about my chances. And then zoom in on him. He's like, number 200 eliminated. He's like, oh, okay. I was like,
and everyone's
damn.
like tapping on the shoulder, being like, oh.
Basically, we're like, oh man, I'm sorry, man. We love you. And you're like, sure you do.
And then they feed them, don't like there's a whole controversy about the feeding.
So the feeding it's 3 times per day. But it's like, like the bare minimum, like just enough to get you there, but to keep you not hungry, but just never fully filled up.
That's fucking brutal because you gotta be like starving and then you just see like craft services for like the film set.
The production crew.
Just one fat guy that can smell food through.
By the way, Lorenzo, he was hilarious. That shit killed me.
him.
So they get served food and it's like in this tin can, it's an egg and some noodles. It's like really bare bones shit, but like it's enough protein for you to eat.
Like the show.
Yeah. But I'm just like,
the gay
okay,
guys
but
on those shows are so entertaining.
because like they're like, well, I could just be
That's
a
why we
cunt.
have you on the show, John.
Welcome.
So so like there's you follow like a group of girls that are eating, and then they're like, wait, what is this guy doing? And you see him always going back in the line to get more and more food. And what he does is he just stuffs it under his like pillow. So he eats one and he just stuffs a bunch of them under his pillow. He keeps coming back to get more food. And they're like, is this motherfucker taking more food? And his confession is like, I don't give a fuck. I need to eat. Yeah, literally. Exactly. Like the show. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Accent, he's just like,
oh,
there's
yes.
not enough food for me. I'm very hungry.
It's
He's
really
so
funny. So he goes in, he does that. And what he would do is he'd go to other people and be like, oh, are you guys like not eating? They're like, yeah, and I'm good. I'll take it. So he just keeps taking food from other people. And I was just like, okay, finally, we got somebody funny and interesting.
He's the only
Thank God.
interesting one.
That's
Only
a real
interesting one.
hustle right there.
And people hating on him, but like, yo, he's the best.
They hate on him, but then they're like, we still like you though.
People that talk bad about the Lorenzo, but the Lorenzo have the good master plan.
He goes full Italian. He's like, oh, he lists out all like Italian dishes. And I'm like, this man could not be more Italian and gay. And it's so amazing.
Meanwhile, he's got 20 eggs under his pillow.
Literally fucking eggs cooking under the
building a
pillow.
nest.
So you got them. You got Brighton being more abrasive to the others. So he's building up where not everybody hates him, but other people are like, oh my God, he's arrogant.
Does
He's
he have his
starting
like,
to
little crew?
He has a little crew. They're all pumping. They're all like being like, yo, can you guys do push-ups? He's like, no, this is a bitch ass push-up. You need to do push-ups. So they all do push-ups. And I was like, maybe you guys would like that.
They somehow already made like a bench.
They're already benching
Like, where the
people.
fuck did you get all this? It's like, don't fucking worry.
It's the broccoli head crew.
Completely. There's a second game that's being introduced that gets more introduced in the second episode of the show. They end on a cliffhanger for that one. Dalgona is a type of sugar cookie. It's like sugar-based cookie where there's like a print in it where you can kind of like take that print out. But, you know, you can break it, or like the game is morally that you have to take out that shape in like its exact form. Like you can't have it break it off. And in the game, in the Squid Game,
Rigged.
I mean, that shit is like brutal in Squid Game.
It's
show.
brutal.
Like,
It's brutal.
The
It's
series.
brutal
We'll call
in
it the
the show.
series and
The
the show.
series,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
That's true. And so, but in the show and in the challenge, also the series and the show, you have to use like a needle to get that shape out. So there's 4 shapes. You have the circle, you have the triangle, you have a star, and then you have an umbrella. And the umbrella is the worst one to get. It has too much like little corners. It's the
You
easiest.
get an
to
umbrella,
break.
just rage quit. It's dashboard.
Exactly.
But like the show, I mean, if these guys had seen Squid Game, wouldn't they know that they have to like lick the fucking cookie?
They that's what it did. Also, grossest fucking part of that challenge. Oh my God. Everybody was spitting everywhere. It was more than spit. People were building up their spit to have the cookie submerged in spit. That shit was gross. Don't watch it. If you guys are interested in the show at home and you're watching that episode, you can skip a little bit because I got ill, and I normally don't get ill watching this. That got me ill. That was really disgusting. But yeah, so to go back, they're starting that show, and that's how that ends. They had everybody in lines, but they didn't show them any of the shapes. They were in another room, in a like really weird, austere white room. It was like very white space, like scary. I don't know if you guys have that fear, but like, you know, like when everything is like big.
When
and
everything
everything's
around
white.
me is white, I'm always afraid. I'm a person of color.
Exactly.
Okay? It just reminds me of my generational trauma and my oppression. And oh, I can't do it.
Shut up, John. We're gonna hit you after this episode.
Oh, fuck. Podcast so white. Hashtag.
So they had them.
Pay you to say that.
I fucking started the show.
So they had them all in lines with just in this white room. People just put themselves in line. So you had no idea what was the shape. You just knew that this game was probably coming up, but you didn't know how they were going to distribute who was going to pick which shape. This is where like they changed it, where I'd be interested in finding out like what do you guys think about it, if you guys would even think that's fair. So what they did is they took the 4 first people, they brought them into the second room, and you got the shapes. And in the PA would say, okay, you guys have 2 minutes. You guys have to choose which shapes you get, and you have to be all unanimously in accordance of what you want. Obviously, nobody wants the fucking umbrella. So they're doing that, and they're being televised to the rest of the people. You know, they're technically that's a team now, technically. So everybody's like, don't fucking choose the umbrella. No, nobody choose the umbrella. So they couldn't for the life of them, like, get on a basis, and they all get shot. So they lose. They lose immediately.
I watched that. I think I got like to that like 10 minutes into that episode. Stopped. What pissed me off is the second round of 4 people.
I knew you.
They
you were
get
gonna
into an
piss.
agreement of what to do, especially the taller dude, Alfred. I think he's like Indian or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, they all agree on this rule, right? Like you run, and the first one to get to the shape you got to, you have to stay there. And if you're the second one, you have to go to the next.
They try to make it where it's like a race. They said like we'll race about it. We'll like be behind. It's like 1, 2, 3, go, like the one that can run to their thing.
But then the Indian dude
cheated.
was cheated. Yeah,
He straight up cheated.
he was too late, and so he should have went to the umbrella. And then he was like, "Nah, man, fuck that." And it's like then they all fucking lose.
They lose again because nobody was gonna choose the umbrella.
I like that.
You like that?
I mean, it's not fair,
But they all
But I
agreed.
like it. There's some sort of cool, like, you know what? The show is, is being a little cool with it. They're teaching a lesson.
I do like the show's.
They're making a commentary. Like.
So
but
that's
people are
what
selfish.
It's like it was an interesting thing where I was like, okay, like I kind of like because this is what I found interesting because they need to bring in a social aspect to the game. You're watching this. You can't just be looking at them playing children's games. It's not like it's fun for a little second, but then you're just like, well, where are the?
You gotta like hate and like people at the same time.
Exactly.
You gotta have some relatable people and some people you just like, bro, how are you even alive?
Exactly. So they end up doing that for a third time. And they have Brighton, the big, like the guy who's like kind of, I say bully around, but he's just much more assertive and everything. So he does bully around a bit. And then on one of the rows, they have like, I feel so bad because the show is so portrayed him as like very, like he gets chosen and he's immediately crying. And everybody's like, hey, like it's okay.
Wait, the big dude?
No, not the big dude. There's another dude. Like it's
like,
his
you're telling
Brian.
me you're fucking
His
pussy,
name
you're
is Spencer. His name is Spencer.
You're
Sorry.
fucking pussy. Nigga.
But Brighton was literally like, what the fuck are you crying? Like, it's just a game. And he's just like fucking crying on it. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh man, they're really like zooming in on his face. Crying.
shit.
But like the team was basically being like, hey, like, don't forget, like, fight for us. Fight
And
for
he
us. on
doesn't.
this. He does not. He gets into it. You get his backstory, and again, it's like they give him a backstory just because of this, where he's just like, oh, like I grew up Mormon, so I always followed the rules, and like I'm a very mama's boy. I'm like, man, Netflix is trying to pull you.
Abusive uncle.
Netflix is like legit trying to be like, look at this sweet little bitch boy. Like I was like, come on, man. Like that's so mean. This poor boy. So he gets in, and like there's barely even a conversation. He's like, I'll choose this if you guys help us with the umbrella. Like I guess if you guys could use your spit to help us like with the umbrella. It was so gross. It was so stupid. It was so gross.
Lick my
Everybody
cookie.
that was watching, that was on his row, was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're not even gonna fight for us? And he immediately abdicated.
Piss on your cookie.
Oh god, I
forfeit.
He applied the lube himself.
oh completely. But like he takes the umbrella. He's crying again. I feel bad, but I'm like, come on, man, you should have fought a lot harder for this at least. Because they even said it's like, look, we didn't think he was gonna win it out for us, but we thought he would at least fight it out as long as possible. So anyway, he does that. So he's like, you guys promised to help, right? And Brighton's just like, yeah, sure, I promise. But then you realize each of those rows, they don't do it all the same time. It's each one after the other. So all that shit was fucking stupid. And he just fucking ruined his fucking chance. So you're just like, oh, okay.
Valuable storyline we missed out on.
Valuable storyline.
Fuck.
So just to recap that, they all end up doing it. They get to the umbrella. Spencer's fucking tin is just filled with water. But it's not water, it's spit. And I have no idea how that fucking happened.
Sweat.
So I was like gagging. I was like, I don't even understand how they managed to get that much like spit.
He stole it from the lunchroom. Like, guys, you better spit in this fucking cup.
Like I was just like, how did you guys manage to spit? And then you listen to like the contestants that were there, like in that episode specifically, they said they had to wait for, you know, people to do the Dalgona cookie. They had to wait several hours also in that room. So they said a lot of them were building up spit for like several hours. And they said Spencer was the one literally like chipmunk filled with spit in his mouth.
Why was this not on television?
Huh?
They didn't show this?
They didn't show any of
Why
this.
don't you show that? I want to see that. That's fucking cool.
I don't know why didn't
That's
show
fucking
it.
awesome.
And this is what
like I want to watch that.
my biggest pet peeve of this show is that there's so much stuff that you need to find out on your own by the own contestants, and what they're saying is 10 times more interesting.
Yeah.
10 times more interesting. There's people in there that you see 2 seconds and then you didn't know they had such an impact on all of them.
I don't know. What would you do in that situation?
The spit?
Yeah. What do you do in the game?
That's true.
I mean, I guess I'd follow everyone and try to build up the spit. What does annoy me, though, is like the thought of waiting for hours.
You're waiting
Like,
several hours.
that shit seems annoying.
I feel like I can do it. Do I have to get it out with the needle? Because I could do it with my mouth.
No, you can.
Let's say
use
everybody gets the umbrella.
Because I could just like put my tongue on it and
You can do that.
loosen it up until the cookie is soft enough that I'm just like chipping away,
Okay.
chipping away, and then I'm like, oh, I reached the edge. Boom. And then just like suck the corners of the cookie. To get the shape out.
trying to brag about cunnilingus or some shit?
No, not at all. Not at
He's
all.
like, I love eating pussy.
I love it.
Shit, I'll be the
That
first
was
one to
not
piss on
even
my-
that was not even the subject of conversation. I'm talking about life or death.
Life or
Life
death.
or death.
Life or death. If I'm in that pussy, what do I do?
I want to be unique. I'm gonna piss on my cookies.
So by that logic,
Oh, fucking
Dude, I feel like you could wipe it on you.
Ooh, careful.
this-
that cookies can be pretty fragile.
This man sweats.
Just wipe it on him. Just wipe it on him.
just start sweating.
Just start running, bro. Run with the
sweat-
cookies in your hand.
You can sweat whenever you want, can't you? In that cold.
Can't control your pores.
It is
Also,
cold,
by the way,
bro.
by that cunnilingus logic, so that's how Spencer does it.
He's like freaking out and everything, but you can hear him regurgitate. Like he's doing like I'm not gonna do the sound, but he's doing a regurgitation
hacking.
sound as much as possible. And he's like,
Fucking disgusting.
and then you keep going back on his doggone it. His I'm specifying on his. The others are gross, but his is like fucking filled. Absolutely filled.
Oh.
Even the other contestants are like, how the fuck did you even get that much water in there? Like, that's not possible. Like, it was clear too. I was like, this man, I don't know what his diet is, but Jesus Christ, the saliva is clear as day.
Nothing but the body of Christ.
Nothing but the body of Christ. So it filled that, and he was like trying to melt it with all of it. And I heard that some of the tactics, it's not the greatest tactic because you might soften it so much
Yeah, I was
that
thinking about that too.
by the end you crack, and that's what
I
happened
feel
to
like
him.
you have to only get it on the edges where you're cutting.
That's the
right?
thing. Probably give that. But yeah, so like you would you guys spit as much as Spencer spit?
No, that's stupid.
Just lick the edges and stuff.
cup
Chip it
full.
up.
How do you go back home after that airs?
And not feel ashamed.
How do you not? Yeah.
That's the thing. That's all you can say. Mormon boy got his team a bit screwed and felt bad for him. By the way, apparently he was a recent cancer survivor. Would have been interesting to know,
What
but
did
you only
Mormon
know
boy-
that later
what
on.
did Mormon boy get for a change?
guys, the fuck, man. guys.
Gotta make fun of-
We told a lot of good jokes today, but let me tell you something that's not funny. Surviving cancer.
Something that's not funny. Mormon boys.
Not funny.
It's great for your spit, though.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Amazing. That's where all his spit came from.
Oh, good for him. Congratulations on the cancer survival.
Yeah, seriously,
yeah.
Congratulations. Maybe that's why he was super emotional. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe he's like, I'm alive, but I'm also screwing my team.
He's like massively in debt.
Yeah, I mean,
When he survived, he was like, God, let me survive cancer and I'll really become a real man and confident.
I'm sorry, but like you saw, to me, it's also, you saw the show, right? You knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Like, you knew, like, maybe not exactly how it would come down to, but like you knew that this was kind of cutthroat.
There was a luck that you might get the umbrella.
I think people expected this show to be like a watered down version or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
like,
so far the controversy has been much more about the first red light, green light stuff.
because that's absolute bullshit.
That's the thing.
absolute bullshit.
That's why I was like, that's kind of like
This
that's
cookie thing, like, I
bullshit.
feel like this
But it's also
Cookie
hard to
thing
do
is
without
fine.
shooting anybody.
it's just disgusting.
So,
yeah, cookie thing is just fucking gross. They,
I feel like they should have just done the paintball thing. Just fucking shoot.
just fucking shoot
shoot
them.
them.
No,
Gun
that's oh my god, so much. You kidding?
If you're too
You'd
much
be
of a bitch
liable
to
for
get
so
shot
much.
by a paintball, don't be in the fucking show.
Now when I don't have vision
Well, give
protection
them-
and they
Okay,
just
well, like,
shoot me and then
maybe give them
accidentally
like
I
those
move.
plastic visors, but
They didn't have vision protection. They didn't have eye protection
Yeah.
in the series.
And they got shot with
Motherfuckers,
real
they
bullets.
died in the series. God damn. Whenever I had people, it was like, well, they died in the series. Like, yeah, we're not gonna fucking do that in the real show.
headshot Bethany, bro.
Well, you know what?
People
It just,
die all the time.
but you know what? It just goes to show Americans just they never remake things right. That's it.
What's that Korean one? Something boy.
Old boy.
Old
Yeah.
boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, fuck
Something
that.
old boy. Something boy. Soy boy.
Soy boy. It was old boy, and the Americans made soy boy.
That's fair.
That's Americanized
That's
version.
pretty fair. All right. So they went from the 188 players to 119. And so yeah, like there's you follow the mother now, and she's trying to get good with Brighton, which is like the big muscle guy.
She's getting down on her knees.
Begging please, yeah, but begging please, but no, but because he's a bit isolated right now, and she's trying to gauge if like she's trying to make friends. Like she's straight up being like, I'm trying to make allies.
I'll be your mommy, Brighton.
I'll be almost. It
How
was
does the
like
son
It's almost
feel
like
about
that woman that tried to make
the son. I don't know. We don't show how he feels about it. She just does her own thing, and we're not interested anymore. It's
Oh
just
God,
her
this
thing.
is MILF Manor all over again.
Again, it's a lot of like just random. Like now it's her talking with him.
I went to Squid Game and brought you a stepfather.
So
a real one.
they're talking.
Blah, blah.
They're talking, and she's trying to be like, oh, is this like really you? Like, you know, it's like some people might find you a bit abrasive. He's like, well, you know, like that's me. Like, I'm not trying to hide myself. And then you go on to his confessional, and it goes like really like dark or like very personal to the point where I was like, what the hell is this story coming from? Either. What are you gonna say?
No.
No, okay,
I'm good. I reserved.
okay.
Plead the fifth.
I don't think you'll plead the fifth after I tell you what it is.
I'm cooking.
Sure. So he's mixed, and he for some reason he brought out, it's like, yeah, like my mom, who was like very young when she had me, he was like, well, she's a white mom, she didn't know how to like raise a black boy. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, that's not a bad
This is
thing to
very
know.
serious for Squid
That's the thing. Like, it got so serious. I was like, I just had like a guy being like, I'm a delivery driver. It's like, I'm insecure about my height. And it's like, and then he's like, my white mom did not know how to raise a black man in America. I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh my God.
My Caucasian mother struggled raising me. It was not her fault. I was a young black man with a lot of rage in my heart.
And not enough seasoning on my chicken.
Not enough seasoning on my chicken.
Oh my god.
Can't believe I'm the one making this.
She bought me the Shacks.
God damn it.
I wanted the Jordans. She bought me the Shacks.
I got my ass whooped that day from those
God
kids.
damn it, mama. It's Fubu, not Fubo.
You know, I wrote that under holy shit racial talk out of nowhere. But I don't want to genuine, like I'm joking, but that was a very serious
that's a
talk.
very it's a very interesting issue, not from an entertainment standpoint, but it's like, you know, this is like, holy shit, there's depth here.
Yeah. But then they
Randomly.
cut that off. And then it was like, all right, well, you got this. And then I'm like, people who don't even hang out with like black people are like, that was quirky. That was a quirky thing. I don't know what that is.
Black man.
Literally,
He
that's
doesn't
how
like
I'm
his
doing
white
it.
mother.
Is he talking about his feelings?
Oh my God.
What a weird man talking about his feelings.
They do cliffhangers, and honestly, I'm like, you don't need to do a cliffhanger. It was like they do mini games, but they'll end it on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, why on a mini games? It's so stupid.
First of all, it's on fucking Netflix. The entire season comes out.
Exactly. So it's
Like,
like
why do I care? I can watch it right now.
it's very dumb. So I'm gonna give you a mini game that was in that episode. I'm just gonna put it in the third episode.
Yeah.
So we're in the third episode. Cool. I'm gonna say right now, big opportunity missed, and I'll tell you guys later. Brighton is there being a bit abrasive, and there's this guy kind of like needling at him, and he calls him frat boy. That's the biggest thing he says. He's like frat boy. So the guy comes in, Brighton comes up right to his face. I think his name was Juanan, and he's like in his face. Brighton is in his like, he gets to the thing where like they get to the ear, and he's like, if you call me frat boy again, he's like, I'm not gonna hit you, but like when we get out of here, you know, shit might
on
go
these streets.
And Juanan is just like,
Call me
like,
frat boy one more time, and I may burst into tears, young man.
Brighton's now serious.
Brighton's now serious now. So Juanan says like, okay, whatever, frat boy, and you're just like, okay, I guess they have something. And you finally get his confessional, like the first you see. Yeah. And he's saying like, oh, you know what? Is like that frat boy, like he's annoying. Like I want to get him out. I want to win a mini game to get him out of there. Oh. So a mini game does present itself. Everybody's just doing their thing. So this rotary phone gets introduced by like the guards, because it's only like a PA and guards that come and present stuff. Yeah. So they put the phone down and then they leave. Everybody's kind of waiting around the phone. There's some people, mullet guy, one of the mullet guys is like, I'm not fucking going there. Like, I don't know what that is that could eliminate me. I'll let everybody else put themselves in the spotlight. I'm standing back. I'm not doing this. And I was like, that's actually a good strategy. So you have Juanan who's waiting a bit around and the phone rings. So he picks it up and they're like, hey, because you picked up the phone, you get a little treat. Guards come out and they have like this giant tray of like fries and like 2 giant burgers there. So everybody runs in. They're like, holy shit. And a baseball bat. Everybody runs up. And it was so funny because they give it to him, the tray, and just everybody just fucking, just like take all his fries. There's the girl that saw Lorenzo steal the food, literally yanks his fucking burger. She's like, I just took his fucking burger. And she's just eating and walking away. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, damn.
It's like being in high school.
Literally.
When you have gum.
Yeah, pack of gum and everybody takes. So I was just like, what the fuck was that? Rings for a second time. And it's shown on the show that he's like waiting around for a second. The
fries were poisoned.
They're all dead. He picks it up, but this time it was a trap. And they're saying like, hey, because you picked it up, you're now like, you're up for elimination. But if you can convince somebody else to pick it up, then you'll be fine.
Hey, yo, they're giving out more Big Macs.
This is what I mean. So unfortunately, like when he picked it up, he said, oh shit. And I'm like, oh man, you fucked yourself already. Like his face, immediately you could tell something was going wrong with the phone call. So he was trying to convince people to be like, oh, they're giving like blueberry muffins or something. And everybody was just like, nah.
Bro, if you pick up the phone, they'll suck your dick.
Everybody was like, nah, we're good. And he gets taken out. Yeah. So this is where the missed opportunity is. After that, I also want to ask, what were you guys' tactics be? Because I have a tactic of my own if that was the thing. So first of all, in it, it wasn't 2 times the phone rang. Apparently, it rang 4 times. So the first time he picked it up, 2 other times other people picked it up, and it was treats also that they got. And they got to share with their own crews. Oh. And then the last one, which was the 4th, he picked it up. Yeah. So now it makes more sense where he was like, oh, he picked it up at the 4th because like other stuff, maybe that's when he thought elimination
why would you
was
make him look stupid?
They make it look like he was also always there trying to guard it. But he was, even on the second time he picked it up, he was with other people. And like he even asked, he's like, hey, should I pick it up like a second time? Because nobody wanted to pick it up. They were like, this feels
it went too well too many times.
That's the thing. They were like, this is weird. Yeah. More stuff about it. Apparently, this guy was fucking hated. They hated this guy, apparently.
That's why they stole his shit.
There you go. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, so everybody literally nobody gave a shit about him. They just fucking and I was like, where does this come from? But apparently he was kind of like those. Okay, he reminded me of a friend we have where he liked to poke at people just for the pleasure of it. Yeah. Not to rile them up to make them lose the game, but just because he liked to do it.
Okay.
So he did that a lot, and they said like he was
dickhead.
Yeah, he was a dickhead, and he was like this mousy kind of shitty little dickhead. So the fight he had with Brighton started to make more sense. Where I'm like, okay, so Brighton never like confronted anybody else like that. He was portrayed as a jackass, but he only went after this guy because I'm like, this guy probably was fucking poking
With
him
a
this
lot
entire
of people too.
exactly.
Or it was just like low key, like the bully finally standing up to the other bully.
But that's what
Brighton probably wasn't even a bully.
Brighton-
Brighton was just kind of like a.
A misunderstood.
He was kind of. I don't think he was fully misunderstood.
Leave
He
me
was
alone.
a bit
I'm
of a.
reading soliloquies.
I think he had a bit of a jackass exterior, but
Yeah.
I think the people who were in the contested, they said like when Juanan left, everybody cheered. Everybody was, but they said like if Brighton had left, some people would be happy, but others would be sad about it. So it was much more nuanced.
There's
on
people
that.
that like. People like to hate on individual, like Brighton, whatever. He's maybe like, you don't have
Because he
to
looks
like
big,
him.
he has the frat boy
Yeah.
persona.
And
You know,
you don't have to like the guy, but like people will hate him just because of that as well. And like I don't know the guy,
that's the thing.
but
But
he's-
Juanan was apparently like a
jackass.
fucking shit. They said like he was very weird and demeaning with women. Like it was just, it was all of that. So this is where my missed opportunity is. It's like, why didn't you guys show this? He's a villain. Why not have him? I'm confused. And this is where it goes on again. It's like, oh, you guys haven't? Like,
Yeah, I just googled Brighton.
yeah, he's like a hot college.
football.
He looks like straight out of like Riverdale. Or
Yes, he
something.
does. He looks
Looks
like
like a teen
he looks like
teen drama actor. You know,
very much
yeah,
so.
like that.
So yeah, so that with like a cocksure assurance, kind of little bullish, but just because he's the type where he needs to like, do it very extra. But Juanan was like apparently he was that, but he wasn't portrayed that way on the show, and that was like the biggest issue I had. I was like, well, why not show this? This is interesting. Like, this is interesting stuff to show. This is a villain that you could introduce. That was my missed opportunity I found for that. So my question is, for that phone game, you pick up the phone. Instead of a treat, it tells you need to convince somebody else to pick up the phone. What do you do?
Did we already say the oh shit part or no?
No.
Okay.
Let's say you get it. Like, fuck it. You know what? To make it harder, you said, oh shit, outside. Like,
Oh, John, why'd you to fucking talk?
no, make
because
it
then
harder.
that makes
No,
it
because
bad.
you're right. Because like maybe you're
you
caught
already
off
did
guard.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, you're caught off guard. You're like, oh shit. How do you work your way out of that?
I think it's you just exaggerate being excited. Like you really exaggerate. You're like, oh shit, really?
No. You said oh shit already in that tone. It's like,
Yeah, but then you
oh,
say it again.
You said oh shit in a tone that makes
If you
it
double down on your oh shit, then you're like, okay, well, it wasn't an accident. So then you're like, oh shit.
or you start to exaggerate it back up.
You're like, okay, yeah, exaggerate it up, and then after that, you're like, yo, like if you get this, we both get this, and then
or what you could also do is at the end you do like almost like you do like a little smirk, a little smile, but you're hiding it because everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
But you're like looking on the ground, like kind of smile comes out, and you put the phone down and you don't say a fucking word.
You can't put the phone down. I forgot to say you have to keep it. You have to keep your phone up until you pass it to somebody. But you have to keep
you
the
have to
phone.
literally
Yeah, you can't
hand
walk
it to
away.
someone.
You have to keep it. Yeah. You have 2 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, that changes everything.
There you go.
I thought you
daddy
had
from
to
jail.
convince someone to pick it up again.
You have to convince, but you have to convince someone to take
You
it
can't
from
put
you.
the phone down. You have
You
to
just
hand
can't,
it to someone.
yeah, like if you can only take it off if you're actually handing it to somebody else that's gonna take it. So there you
Oh,
go.
well, you're fucked though. That's impossible.
I
don't
got
think
an
so.
idea.
Go for it.
I'm going to say oh shit, right?
Yeah, you said oh shit.
And I'm going to say, guys, here's the deal. We have to pass this phone 10 times. And
Like
the
on
last person,
Facebook.
but the last person,
10 people dead.
the last person to pick up the phone, like I have to nominate someone and they have to nominate someone. I'm making up a whole game on the
Oh,
spot.
shit, nice.
Like I say Jerry, you have to say someone else, and the 10th person gets eliminated. If not, 10 people get eliminated right now.
Oh.
At random.
Great. Yeah.
Interesting. But like, would you?
I just want Squid Game.
That's that. But would you?
One thing too is you could also just say, "Oh, number so and so, they want to speak to you."
There's that too.
Straight up
There's
fucking
that too.
lie.
There's that too.
And it's a wolf.
my
Now I
strategy.
take it with my bare hands.
My strategy was more of I said the oh shit, and then I kind of do the thing where I'm kind of like almost smiling like I'm getting a secret. I cover my mouth and I turn away from everybody, and I'm kind of hoping that it gets people just curious, because like there was people that was always curious to even listen, so they get be like, what's he saying, and then like I'd be exaggerating and be like, wait, you're gonna give like this if I do this, and then they're like, wait, well, what are you saying? Is like, are you sure like that's what you're gonna give me? Like I try to like make it like less information, and people are like, what are you saying? And it's like, well, here if you want to hear, like make it like it's nothing. Yeah. So I'd just be like, well, here you go if you want to hear. Like I can't believe he's saying this, and then I pass it and then I leave, and then I just walk away.
Hey, yo, Brighton, they said you're a frat boy bitch.
That's what that guy should have said.
And then Brighton's like, what the fuck you say to me? Take this.
Fuck you said. Because like I think he was trying to get Brighton, but Brighton was just like, I don't fucking give a fuck. I'm not going. He was like, fuck you. I don't want the treat.
That's the thing.
Fuck you.
Regardless, if like every time you see the phone ring, you don't pick it up. In general, you win anyways because nothing bad can happen to you, but nothing good could happen. But you can still reap the benefits
Also,
of somebody else.
Steal the
having it.
fucking burgers from them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you reap the benefits anyways. You just gotta be close enough to just not give a shit.
But yeah, so like that's how that ends. Actually, like this was supposed to be a two-parter because that was like the first half was him picking up and that it ended on a cliffhanger and that, and I was like, that's such a stupid.
They like, oh shit, and then cut to
Basically, it was such a stupid because it's a mini game, it's a tiny mini game, and he got kicked out, and I was like, well, okay, well, that's
That's
it.
how they milk
What would be
10
joke-
episodes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I was like, interesting mini game, but you didn't need to milk it that
Aren't they
long.
like 45-minute episodes?
They're long.
They're too long
They're way too long.
because they're not that interesting.
Sometimes
30
towards,
minutes is good for a reality show.
towards the end, it starts to be like 40 to 30, and then I'm like, okay, you guys just realized now you don't have enough. It was like, it was really
Because those
funny.
characters aren't even interesting.
No, they're
So I
not.
don't
Again,
understand
like
how-
what I'm saying, the people I'm giving you guys is like the most important people for now. Brian stays longer, but like there's people
I hope
that
Brighton wins.
yeah. Fuck, I suck at this.
Yeah.
She would fail the
As soon as you
phone.
say, "Oh shit," nobody's picking up that.
Fuck you, I'm not taking the phone from you.
Oh fuck.
Hope you get put down.
There's people. It's because it's funny because I watched it all. It was really funny seeing people in the background, realizing that those people in the backgrounds are the one that go even further or are literally at the end. And I'm like, why didn't you show me any of these fucking people? Because they end up showing the people who are like the closest towards the end, like really laid into it. And I was like, this is terrible storyline. So I'll continue. They go to the next challenge. Now they're in the next challenge. And the next challenge in the show, it's tug of war. And
Yeah.
tug of war. So the tug of war in the show was very interesting because this is where they change. And again, I'm also wondering what you guys think about it. I think I understand why they had to change it, but I'm not sure
many chicken shits.
what they changed it to was actually quite interesting. They go in, everybody's choosing their teams because in their mind, they're like, we're going to do tug of war. That's the third challenge where we need to do tug of war. So some people are like, fuck it. Even though my team is not like the biggest muscle, they're friends now. If I'm going out with them. Yeah. We'll do it as much. Brighton ended up getting all the big guys of the team. He even got He-Man. I was like, damn, you got He-Man. And then like he was just like,
then
fuck
they have
yeah.
to do math.
Kind of. So he's a big team against another team that looked like a bit, weaker physically. So they both go in. They're excited. He's like, I'm pumped. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then they get in and they have to play battleships. Like a big version
that's fucking awesome.
of battleships.
What a plot twist.
It was just so funny. It was the best thing because he's like, what the fuck is it? Like he literally, they had to censor, but he's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? So the way they have to play it in their teams, it's team by team. It's like, battleships, right?
I know
Everybody?
the game Battleship.
You need to get Battleship.
It's a fun
Battleship
game.
is good fun. it's all giant props. The props in these games are really sick. And they have little like kind of like little buttons they can put in the slot in the holes, and like the PA and like sound effects are there to be like, oh, you got a boat, or oh no, you didn't get a boat, and like it will flash like blue or red depending on what team goes in. So they both get it. They have to elect a lieutenant and like a captain and a lieutenant. So they're are the ones that are gonna place everybody, because they all have little boats and they're all in the little boats. It's very cute.
So you got
like
all the fucking big dudes just to be the bigger target.
Literally just be like shit. So they have the boats. There's the little boats. There's the big boats, and everybody. So they're placing them in. And the way it goes is that if you hit one of the boats, and if you sink it, everybody on that boat eliminated. So you could still be on the losing team, but if you're
How
not,
many people per boat?
there was I think there was like 5 people on one boat. There's 2 people on like a boat of 2.
yeah.
There's it kind of goes like that. I think there was 3.
So the bigger
and-
ships have more people on it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you want to think those.
So you put those in, and then the other side same way. So that's how they were going. So they chose their captain, chose their lieutenants, and Brighton's just fucking fuming. He's like, motherfucker, like I didn't think that was gonna be the fucking game, but whatever.
I did not foresee these events.
Did not foresee these events. So he's just standing there, and long story short, like it's a bit weird the way they shot it, because like they put all the special effects and everything, but at a point you're just kind of like, all right, like get on with it, because there's 4 more they have to show you. And I was like, oh god. And it's even the contestants were like, hey, like as fun as it was also quite boring, because a lot of it was up to luck, because you're essentially guessing where they are. If you don't know the strategies of Battleship, you're guessing where this is. So it's a lot of standing like
there's strategy to Battleship.
Yes,
There is.
motherfucker. If you hit one, you hit the points around it.
yeah.
You don't just shoot like A1 and then like
That's what they
shoot
did though.
C4. Like you gotta make sense.
That's what they did. So they did all that. Long
Why are
story
you so
short.
Are
disappointed?
we gonna have to talk about our strategies?
I know
for
about
Battleship?
if you okay, whatever. Let's continue.
Continue.
We'll buy the game. We'll buy the game tomorrow.
But it has to have Rihanna on the cover.
Oh yes, please do. Yes,
Yeah, the Rihanna edition.
Rihanna
Battleship,
battleships.
yeah.
I would love that. So
forgot.
they end up doing it, and long story short, Brighton ends up losing. That's why. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. He gets up eliminated. He's on the losing team, and he's eliminated.
Should have put a smile on that face, boy.
So other people, he was on the 2-boat team, and it was actually kind of stressful a bit, because they kept missing around, because they were trying to find which way they placed it.
I smelt the
And then
ego in the air. They're like, left, yeah, left.
And then there was this weird cut where he's like, wow, like what, that's how y'all feel? Like, why didn't you tell me in my face? And then you're just like, what was that about? And then you realize it cut it. People were cheering very loudly when they found out that he got taken out. And again, I was like, why would you cut that? Because you don't understand why he's freaked.
That's so fucking stupid.
That's the
Like
thing,
the whole
but-
point of a reality show is the drama.
Is the
like
reality.
You built up drama.
Oh,
and
exactly.
You make reality,
But the
there's
thing
no
is, it's like,
reality to it.
this is what I have to say. For us, it's perfect. It's drama. I want that. But I'm guessing if you're playing and there's somebody on your nerves, I don't think I would be too much of an asshole to cheer in their face about it. But like, if I was, I don't know, like, I don't think I would cheer in their face about it. But like, if you really wanted this person gone, maybe you'd be like, fuck you, bitch. You know what I mean?
But also, why did they take away the reality from reality TV?
What do you mean?
Like you're saying, like people are cheering and everything,
Exactly.
and they didn't put it in.
This
You're
is-
taking off what's exciting about reality TV.
This is
the
why-
contestant conflict.
Exactly.
They're morons.
You know what was really funny is hearing more about how it went. People on the show were legit saying, it's like, honestly, we were like the least cutthroat people. We were actually like all vibing together. We were happy. We were nice and happy together. We were having fun in this. They even had a thing where they played like a 40 versus 40 volleyball in it, where like I think a guy took like his shirt and like I think his socks or something, rolled it up in a ball, and he was like, "Hey guys, like let's play something." And he wanted to play soccer, but it
that
was
shit's
like too
fucking
much.
cute. Holy
It was
shit.
very cute. And like apparently he got like 40 people to like take all their jackets and like strung it together to make a fence, and they were playing. And I was like, that would have been fun to watch. That would have been really funny.
Little side mini game.
He said, I would love that. And 5 minutes in, they hear the PA, and the PA said like, hey, if you guys sweat, which by the way, apparently was true. It's like, if you guys are sweating and everything because you're going to get hot, we don't give you other uniforms. This is the uniform you keep, which means that uniform that gets dirty, they have to keep the entire time, which is gross. They get to shower, but you still go back to dirty fucking
bully, bro.
the pier.
This is an actual bully.
So they said that to him. It's like, hey, if you guys sweat, we're not replacing it. It's going to be sweaty and gross.
Laundry wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, for Netflix en plus. You guys are going to sweat. It's going to be gross. And they were like, okay, we don't care. So they continue. 3 minutes later, the PA is like,
stop fucking playing!
Basically, the PA was like, guys, you need to stop playing. And this is what was weird because there was a lot of little stories of where people seemed to be like in high spirits laughing, and the production would come in and be like, hey, like, aren't you stressed? Like, you should be more stressed about this. Like, you're sending your friends home. Like, aren't you like, why are you like so And I'm just like, so they're trying to downplay all of this, but then they wouldn't show the reality of it. And then when they are being like, when there is conflicts, they also don't show it. And this is why I was like, okay, like Netflix, what the fuck do you want?
Very weird.
It's rude as fuck.
It's really
Because then they don't show the good times, they don't show the bad times. They just show like boring boring ass people.
It's like, let the show flow naturally.
Yeah,
Edit out what you don't want later.
exactly.
Like, don't force any of this shit. But yeah, it's nothing like Hell's Kitchen.
no,
Hell's Kitchen
nothing like
is
no.
the best.
Battleships continue, and we get introduced to a new character. Finally, new person. I say new character.
Somebody
In
that's
the
gonna be in
show.
the finals, pretty much.
Yeah, his name is TJ. I called him basketball guy because he used to be a basketball guy. Brother preacher also because brother preacher because he's a very preachy dude, like not overly, but he's very much as like,
But he's a brother.
guys, we got to take action, and like, you know, I'm gonna lead y'all and everything. And he's sweet, but it was to the point where you're like, all right, like, what show are you trying to be on a little bit? Like, it was funny, but it was sweet. Like it was his episode in a way
Try to be on me.
where he got the two boats sunk without having anybody on his side eliminated. So it lended even more credence, saying it's like, nobody's going home. And everybody's like, yeah, nobody's going home. And it was like, yeah.
All right, whatever you say.
And he did. I mean, fuck, he made it. Like, nobody went home and everything. So, and then they speed passed through the last two. They had one girl who was the captain, and she was like, oh, I'm from Mensa. I'm like UK Mensa. I'm like, I'm very intelligent and everything. And I'm like, okay, are they going to show your downfall? But
Bitch.
But then she actually had strategy, and she also immediately destroyed the other team. She was like,
Wow.
okay. She was like, okay, people normally hit on the C something there, so I didn't put anything, and they did, and they hit there, and they hit nothing. And she was like, okay, I know where they're
Wait,
gonna
you
hit.
get to
Boop, boop, boop,
watch
boop.
other people play?
You mean like the
The
people in the show?
other rounds?
Yes,
You
there's
watch
like
the other rounds?
there's like two. There was they go back on
Okay,
their
it's
dorms.
separate.
It's separate.
Okay, because I was like, that's a disadvantage.
No,
then. What the
it's
fuck?
separate. That would suck ass. But like, she had strategies for strategy. She was like, this is it, and she got done
Wow,
in
so
a
very
second.
interesting that a game like Battleship would require some sort of
Well,
strategy.
it's like poker where it's half strategy, half
There's a
luck.
lot of luck.
It's a luck. She
It's
even says it.
patterns.
It's luck. It's
Yeah.
patterns. It's probabilities,
That-
but it's luck too.
That's the thing where it's like you don't know where the person is gonna put the stuff.
Yeah.
You can kind of guess. And then once you get a couple, you can kind of be like, I see what you're doing.
I know where you are, buddy.
You're going all around the
gotcha.
sides, aren't you?
Gotcha.
Oh, so funny.
I remember I played with someone and they had them all bunched up in one corner.
like a moron.
And so I
They'll never expect me. See, it's stupid. Everybody tries to put their pieces all in one, all over the place. Nobody ever expect them all in one place.
Just bundled up in the middle. It's just like, toot.
It's literally pattern recognition. Like you got to see like how they place their pieces and like what do they do, what are their tendencies.
Everybody puts one in at least one corner.
I find it funny because like
play Battleship.
what's funny is like while they were playing, I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, nobody ever makes it touch the edge because that's too obvious. what she did is she made it touch the edge because she was like, people think nobody does this, so I'm doing it. And she was right. And I was like, oh, fuck, maybe the Mensa girl, she wasn't bullshitting around. Maybe she is super fucking smart.
That's how John F. Kennedy won the Cuban Missile Crisis.
He put his boats
He put his boats in the corner.
So for this game, do you guys think that was a fair change?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, tug of war, there's no way.
No, fuck you. Like, I fuck you, Netflix. Like, no, because here's the thing. People signing up to this show know what they're getting into. I feel like this is a cop-out, like, unless it's maybe just more, like, for health and insurance reasons. But I'm like, I feel like, dude, Wipeout does shit like that. So, like, you sign a waiver. I'm pretty sure whatever damage you take, they're not responsible for. So, like, if they've seen the show, they can expect a tug-of-war experience. What they should have done was randomize the teams.
Like not make them choose their own teams.
Yeah, exactly. Not make them choose their own teams. Like
That's
randomize the teams.
But so they
That's pretty
don't
much-
do tug of war at all?
They don't do tug of war.
But
They
I-
made
yeah,
their
that's
teams
fucking
thinking
sucks.
they were gonna do
they
tug of war.
they took out the most like interesting part of like, well, not the most interesting, but like a show. I don't know. It was
Well, the
Well,
one that
see-
takes them that really utilizes your physique as
Yeah.
much as possible. I feel.
You want to see a good tug of war? Watch Physical 100.
Do you know what it is too?
I thought you were gonna make a sex joke. I was waiting for that.
I'm guessing that it also like just makes the episode a lot shorter if that's what you do.
I mean, yeah. There's only so much you can fucking stretch that shit out.
45 minutes.
45 minutes of like.
Well, then do best 2 out of 3.
That's fair. I think technically they did that with
Fucking
battleships
hire
too.
me.
Yeah.
Hire me. I can not only beat Squid Game, I can also make it harder to beat.
So, as we are wrapping up episode 3 of Squid Game, The Challenge, we have much more to come. We have about 6 more episodes to come, but we will take a break for today as you guys offered more interesting challenges than the actual challenge themselves. So it ended up going a bit longer, but we have more for next time. So
Wow.
Yay.
Let us ramble about fictional stories. We got you.
What a fantastic story. Thank you very much, Priscilla, for telling us that today. Didn't realize reality shows could be dangerous like that.
oh my god, wait until America's Next Top Model, which is pretty funny too.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one.
If you thought Squid Game the challenge was really a challenge, let's see America Next Top Model. It's worse. Honestly, it's quite worse.
All right. Well, what a good episode. Follow the podcast. Give us a rating. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go follow me on Instagram. My name is Director Jon Ramirez. Director John Ramirez. You can follow my YouTube. I am at Deadtime Media. If not, I have a review channel. I review movies sometimes. It's called John Hates.
Well, I don't got much to plug, so I'm gonna just plug the letterbox in here. Unknown Juan, easy spell, no spaces.
I also don't have an Instagram to plug, but in the spirit of John's plug, this is my MSN. No, I'm kidding. I don't have MSN now. I wouldn't even remember it if I could. But I'll see you. This was Priscilla and St-Preux.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Take care. Have a good
Peace.
day. Bye. Bye.